To all present here, this is Lalita Singh, your host for the session. On the behalf of Jabalpur Incubation Center, I welcomes you all in our 11 days online investment Pathshala. बिफोर वी प्रोसीड फर्दर मैं हमारे सारे व्यूअर्स को वेलकम करना चाहूँगी और जो भी व्यूअर्स हमारे साथ आज पहली बार जुड़े हैं उनको बताना चाहूँगी कि जबलपुर इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर न केवल जबलपुर के स्टार्टअप्स के लिए बल्कि देश के सभी स्टार्टअप्स के लिए 11 दिनों की एक स्पेशल इन्वेस्टमेंट पाठशाला का आयोजन कर रहा है जहां पर उन्हें इन्वेस्टमेंट और फंड रेजिंग से जुड़ी सभी बारीकियों के बारे में जानने और समझने का मौका मिलेगा। आज इन्वेस्टमेंट पाठशाला का दूसरा दिन है जहां हम लेकर आए हैं एक नया और इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक, जहां हम जानेंगे फंड रेजिंग क्या है, फंड रेजिंग क्यों इम्पोर्टेंट है और साथ ही बूटस्ट्रैप और फंड रेजिंग में क्या डिफरेंस है। तो आज इस टॉपिक पर हमारे साथ बात करने के लिए जुड़े हैं एक बहुत ही खास गेस्ट, मिस्टर सोवन पांडा। सोवन सर हमारे इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर से काफी सालों से जुड़े हुए हैं एज अ मेंटर। ही इज ऑल्सो अ प्रोग्राम मैनेजर, एग्जीक्यूटिव लीडर, कोच, एंटरप्रेन्योर, कीनोट स्पीकर, mentor, advisor, angel investor, and a trainer also. He has specialized in helping leaders to double their scales through strategic innovation and sales strategic empowerment and partnership. So, on behalf of Jabalpur Incubation Center, I would like you welcome, and not taking this time further, I would request Soban sir to take the stage and share his knowledge with our viewers. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Lalita. So it's a great opportunity for me to share about my experience related to fundraising and startup को कब fund raise करना चाहिए, क्यों जरूरी है, उसके बारे में हम लोग बात करेंगे. So let's proceed. अगर कोई भी questions है, कोई भी clarifications है, आप chat में लिख सकते हैं so that इसी सेशन के दौरान हम उसको क्लैरिफाई कर लेंगे. ठीक है. सो जितना भी क्वेश्चन जो भी है, मेक द बेस्ट यूज ऑफ दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी सो दैट आपको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा आपको बेनिफिट होगा इस पर्टिकुलर सेशंस का. राइट. सो अभी व्हाट इज फंड रेजिंग. फंड रेजिंग का जब बात आता है तो सबसे पहले बहुत मिसकंसेप्शंस हैं. जैसे ठीक है, मेरा एक स्टार्टअप है तो मुझे फंडिंग मिल ही जाएगा, या फिर स्टार्टअप अगर शुरू किया है तो फंड रेजिंग होना ही चाहिए. मींस बिना इन्वेस्टमेंट्स का मेरा स्टार्टअप सक्सेसफुल नहीं हो सकता. तो इस तरह के बहुत सारे कंसेप्शंस हैं एंटायर स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम में, जहाँ पे जितने भी फाउंडर्स हैं उनको लगता है कि वो एक बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट माइलस्टोन, बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट सक्सेस क्राइटेरिया है, जो कुछ स्टार्टअप्स के लिए यस, आंसर इज यस, कि उनके लिए बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट होता है. बट कई सारे स्टार्टअप्स के लिए वो उतना ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं रहता है, क्योंकि एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एज बूटस्ट्रैपिंग, जहाँ पे उन लोग फंड रेज नहीं करके भी अपने कंपनी को बहुत बड़ा कंपनी बना सकते हैं. राइट. सो डिफरेंट कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं जो हम लोग आज डिस्कस करेंगे. सो सबसे पहला देखते हैं कि यहाँ पे क्या. ऑलरेडी यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है कि हम लोग क्या सीखेंगे आज. राइट. सो फंड रेजिंग सबसे पहले होता क्या है, क्यों करना चाहिए. राइट. कितना फंड्स आप रेज करोगे, एंड उसका प्रोसेस क्या है फंड रेजिंग के, डिफरेंट वेज क्या है फंड रेजिंग का, कौन कौन से डिफरेंट ऑप्शंस हैं. अगर नहीं भी फंड रेज करना है तो कैसे उसको स्टार्टअप को आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं. राइट. सो ये सारी चीज़ें, ये सारी बातें हम लोग आज करेंगे इस सेशन में. बट सबसे पहले डिस्कस करते हैं कि जब कोई भी स्टार्टअप, कोई भी फाउंडर जब एक स्टार्टअप का नया आइडिया लेके आता है, सो दैट आइडिया जो है उसको आप यही हमेशा सोचते हो कि ये जो आइडिया है वो सबसे बेस्ट आइडिया है. राइट. एंड इसको अगर फंड्स मिल गया तो इस आइडिया को मैं कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँचा दूँ. राइट. इस इसको डेफिनेटली मैं एक यूनिकॉर्न बना सकता हूँ। तो इस तरह का जो थॉट प्रोसेस रहता है कई सारे फाउंडर्स के दिमाग में, राइट? सो जो पूरा जितना भी फोकस है वो पूरा फोकस फंड रेजिंग पे चला जाता है, राइट? बट एक स्टार्टअप फाउंडर्स के लिए सबसे सबसे जो इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है वो ये है कि वो जो भी आइडिया आइडेंटिफाई किया है, राइट? सो आइडिया आइडिया कहाँ से आता है? लेट्स डिस्कस दैट फर्स्ट। सो सबसे पहले कुछ तो एक प्रॉब्लम आपने फेस किया होगा जिसका आपको सोल्यूशन ढूंढना है। सो आइडिया इधर वहां से आएगा, राइट? आपने खुद एक प्रॉब्लम फेस किया है और उसका आपको सोल्यूशन ढूंढना है। नाउ और कौन कौन से तरीका से आपको आइडिया आ सकता है कि जहाँ पे किसी और ने प्रॉब्लम फेस किया हुआ है, इट इज नॉट योर पर्सनल प्रॉब्लम। ठीक है, आप देख रहे हो कि बहुत सारे ऐसे प्रॉब्लम्स हैं जिसको सॉल्व किया जा सकता है। यू हैव नॉट फेस्ड इट, बट किसी और ने फेस किया है, बहुत सारे लोग फेस कर रहे हैं उस प्रॉब्लम को, और उसका सोल्यूशन बनाना है स्टार्टअप के माध्यम से। सो दैट इज अनदर वे, राइट? जो थर्ड वे जो होता है उसमें ये होता है कि अ, जो जो भी है ऑलरेडी एक आइडिया एग्जिस्टेंट है और ऑलरेडी एक सॉल्यूशन भी एग्जिस्टेंट है, बट वो जो सॉल्यूशन है दैट इज नॉट द बेस्ट सॉल्यूशन। ठीक है, सो देन एज ए फाउंडर आप ये डिसाइड करते हो कि मुझे इससे बढ़िया सॉल्यूशन बनाना है, इससे अच्छा सॉल्यूशन बनाना है, राइट? सो आइडिया ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्टेंट है, बट जो सॉल्यूशन है, जो उसका जो प्रोडक्ट है वो उतना अच्छा प्रोडक्ट नहीं है। सो टू मेक अ बेटर प्रोडक्ट यू विल से दैट मैं इसी आइडिया पे काम करूंगा, राइट? सो यहाँ से आपका आइडियाज जनरेट होता है एंड देन देर आर वेरियस अदर वेज, करेक्ट? सो मैं आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू सिंप्लीफाई इट कि ऐसे तीन चार तरीके से जहाँ से आपको आइडिया आता है। नाउ मोमेंट ये वाला जो आपके पास जब आइडिया है, सो उसके बाद, राइट, द नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेप है वो है कि इस पर्टिकुलर आइडिया को वैलिडेट किया जाए, राइट? सो इसको वैलिडेट करना है। सो आप बिना वैलिडेट किए हुए अगर आप इन्वेस्टर्स के साथ पास चले जाते हो, उनसे उनको आप बोलोगे कि मेरे पास ये आइडिया है और मुझे इसके लिए फंड्स चाहिए, राइट? सो व्हाई वुड एन इन्वेस्टर पे मनी, राइट? तो आइडिया तो आपको वैलिडेट हुआ नहीं है। सो जब तक वो आइडिया वैलिडेट नहीं हुआ है तब तक आपको फंड मिलने में भी बहुत सारी दिक्कतें आती हैं। तो आपका जो एज ए फाउंडर आपका काफ़ी सारा जो टाइम है वो बहुत सारा टाइम वेस्ट हो जाता है इन्वेस्टर्स के पीछे भागने में, इन्वेस्टर्स के साथ डिस्कस करने में, एंड उससे आपको कोई आउटपुट नहीं आता है, राइट? सो अगर आपको सीरियसली कोई अच्छा बड़ा स्टार्टअप अगर आपको सेटअप करना है, राइट, सो फंड रेजिंग एक पूरे आपका जो जितना भी प्रोसेस है, राइट फ्रॉम आइडिया से लेके रेवेन्यू जनरेशन तक, जो भी प्रोसेस है फॉर द स्टार्टअप, तो उसमें एक वन ऑफ द माइलस्टोन है, दैट इज नॉट द ओनली माइलस्टोन। सो ये समझना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि फंड रेजिंग इज नॉट द ओनली माइलस्टोन, राइट? तो ये एक वन ऑफ द इम्पॉर्टेंट स्टेप बट नॉट द ओनली स्टेप, करेक्ट? सो
Yeah.
एंड वेदर ये जो स्टेप है इन फंड रेजिंग का, ये आपके लिए रिक्वायर्ड है या नहीं, ये आपको फाइंड आउट करना है, राइट? सो वेदर रियली यू नीड फंडिंग, वो आपको फाइंड आउट करना है एज वी मूव फ्रॉम द प्रोसेस, राइट फ्रॉम द आइडिएशन स्टेज टू द रेवेन्यू जनरेशन स्टेज, राइट? नाउ ऑफ कोर्स फंडिंग इज इम्पॉर्टेंट, बट जो जब फंडिंग जो होता है उसमें तभी आपको फंड रेज करना चाहिए व्हेन फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपको स्टार्टअप्स को ग्रोथ स्टेज में लेके जाना, राइट? सो बिफोर इवन मूविंग टू द ग्रोथ स्टेज, तो बहुत सारे डिफरेंट डिफरेंट स्टेप्स हैं जो आपको फॉलो करना है, राइट? सो नाउ लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड दैट कि कौन कौन से डिफरेंट स्टेप्स हैं जहां से आप फंड बिफोर यू रीच द फेज ऑफ फंड रेजिंग, राइट? सो यू हैव द आइडिया, अभी आइडिया के बारे में हम डिस्कस कर लिया कि आइडिया किस तरह से आप जनरेट कर सकते हो, एंड वंस यू हैव एन आइडिया तो उस आइडिया को सबसे पहले वैलिडेट करना। सो बिफोर गोइंग टू द इन्वेस्टर्स, सबसे पहले व्हाट आर द वेज इन विच यू कैन जनरेट मनी फॉर योर स्टार्टअप, right? Either you can put your own money, right, which is also called as bootstrapping, where you are not taking money. आप कहीं और से पैसा नहीं ले रहे हो, आप अपना खुद का इन्वेस्टमेंट लगा रहे हो या आपके क्लोजेस्ट जो फाउंडर्स हैं, को फाउंडर्स हैं, ऑल पुट टुगेदर यू आर पुटिंग मनी, एंड वहां से आप अपना स्टार्टअप को ग्रो करा रहे हो, राइट? सो दैट इज द फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट फेज जहां पे यू आर डूइंग अ बूट स्ट्रैपिंग ऑफ योर startup, correct? So you have still not raised the money, it is your own money, right? So during this time, you're bootstrapping the time frame. Now what are the ways? एक तो आपने अपना पैसा डाल दिया स्टार्टअप पे. Now what are the ways जहां से आपको इन्वेस्टमेंट्स मिलेगा, राइट? तो इन्वेस्टमेंट्स को डिफरेंट वे में देखते हैं कि इन्वेस्टमेंट के जगह में हम लोग रेवेन्यू की बात करते हैं. लेट्स नॉट फोकस ऑन द इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, फर्स्ट फोकस ऑन द रेवेन्यू. सो रेवेन्यू कहाँ से आएगा? क्योंकि अगर स्टार्टअप, वेदर यू गेट इन्वेस्टमेंट और नॉट, स्टार्टअप्स को तो आपको ग्रो कराना ही है. सो उस स्टार्टअप्स को ग्रो कराने के लिए ग्रो कहाँ से होगा? तभी जब स्टार्टअप तभी ग्रो होगा जब आप एक प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कर रहे हैं एंड यू आर क्रिएटिंग अ प्रोडक्ट. आपने एक प्रोडक्ट बनाया है और उस प्रोडक्ट का रिक्वायरमेंट, जरूरत बहुत सारे कस्टमर्स को है, राइट? ओनली देन कस्टमर्स जो हैं वो आपके प्रोडक्ट में आइदर दे विल बाय योर प्रोडक्ट या उस प्रोडक्ट में सब्सक्राइब करेंगे, राइट? और आपने हो सकता है कोई ऐप बनाया हुआ होगा, तो उस ऐप में सब्सक्राइब करके यू विल गेट मनी. सो व्हेन अ कस्टमर इज पेइंग मनी टू यू, राइट, दैट इज व्हेन यू नो दैट कि मेरा जो आइडिया है यू कैन एक्चुअली एक्सेलरेट फ्रॉम देयर. सो टू जनरेट मनी, one is through investors, but the better way to generate money is through customers, right? When the customers will pay for utilizing your product or services, right? So हमको ये ध्यान रखना है कि आपने जो प्रोडक्ट बनाया है उसको कस्टमर्स उसको यूज करने के लिए आपको दे आर गोइंग टू पे मनी टू यू, राइट, बाय ईदर सब्सक्राइबिंग और बाइंग दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट, करेक्ट? सो जब तक ये वैलिडेट नहीं होता है दैट कस्टमर्स आर रेडी टू पे, टिल दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम इन्वेस्टर्स भी इंटरेस्ट नहीं लेते हैं टू गिव मनी फॉर योर स्टार्टअप. ओके, सो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, सो टिल दैट टाइम यू विल नॉट गेट द मनी फॉर योर स्टार्टअप. सो दैट मीन्स व्हाट वी आर टॉकिंग हियर कि हम लोग को जितना भी आइडिया है उसको वैलिडेट. लेट्स गो बैक टू द प्रीवियस स्लाइड. लेट्स स्पेंड
Yeah.
सम टाइम. सो सबसे पहले हमारा जो आइडिया है उसको वी हैव टू वैलिडेट दैट पर्टिकुलर आइडिया, राइट? एंड वैलिडेशन कैसे होगा? बाय टॉकिंग टू कस्टमर्स, राइट? सो एज ए फाउंडर आपका मैक्सिमम टाइम जाना चाहिए टू टॉक टू कस्टमर्स रादर देन टॉकिंग टू इन्वेस्टर्स. जितना ज्यादा टाइम आप कस्टमर्स के साथ स्पेंड करेंगे आपका स्टार्टअप उतना ज्यादा ग्रो होगा rather than focusing on the investor. Of course, you have to talk to investors. I'm not denying that. But उसका एक particular stage आएगा, उसका एक right time, right milestone जब आएगा तब जाके investors के साथ बात करना है. But initially, जब तक आपका idea validate नहीं हो जाता,
नहीं
right?
होता.
तब तक आपको investors से बात करने के बजाय आपको customers के साथ बात करना है. Okay? So अभी how do you validate your idea? Validate, you have a problem जो पता है कि this needs to be solved, right? Now validate करने के लिए आपको customers के साथ बात करना पड़ेगा कि आप are you also facing this particular problem? Are you, and do you really need a solution? Whether you are facing a problem is not the only thing. आपको solution का जरूरत है या नहीं है, correct? So there are so many different examples, right? If you take example of Zerodha. So Zerodha जो company है, it's a stock broking company and an investment firm, right? So Zerodha founder, he wanted to solve problem for himself कि मुझे brokerage कम से कम brokerage देना है, right? To buy or sell a stock from the stock market, correct? So that is what he wanted to solve. And what he also found out, Mr. Nitin Kamath also found out that ये जो प्रॉब्लम है बहुत सारे लोगों को यही सेम प्रॉब्लम है और उन लोग भी यही सॉल्यूशन ढूंढ रहे हैं कि कहाँ से आई विल आल्सो बाय stocks and sell stocks by paying as low brokerage as possible, right? So that is what we need to find out. So you have to go and talk to customers एंड ये वैलिडेट करना है कि ये जो प्रॉब्लम है, ये प्रॉब्लम, आर यू ऑल्सो फेसिंग द सेम प्रॉब्लम एंड आर यू लुकिंग फॉर अ सोल्यूशन फॉर दैट. So these are the two very important points. To one is whether the validation of the problem as well as there is a need for a solution for uh, for that particular problem statement. ठीक है, सो ये दोनों चीजों को वैलिडेट करना है एंड इस प्रोसेस को बोलते हैं कस्टमर इंसाइटिंग, जहाँ पे यू विल टेक इंटरव्यूज विद कस्टमर्स एंड टॉक टू देम, और पूरा समझना पड़ेगा कि रियली इसका नीड है. एंड वंस वो आइडेंटिफाई अगर हो गया कि हाँ ये जो प्रॉब्लम है इट्स अ राइट प्रॉब्लम, बिकॉज मोर देन 100 कस्टमर्स आर रेडी. आई एम टेकिंग एन एग्जांपल कि 100 से ज़्यादा कस्टमर्स जो हैं उस प्रॉब्लम को फेस कर रहे हैं, उनको सोल्यूशन भी चाहिए. एंड अगर आप वो सोल्यूशन बना देते हो, स्पेसिफिक सोल्यूशन, तो कस्टमर्स आर रेडी टू पे, राइट. सो एक बार ये एस्टेब्लिश हो गया, दैट इज व्हेन यू नो दैट आपका जो प्रॉब्लम है वो वैलिडेट हो गया है, आपका जो सोल्यूशन है वो भी आइडेंटिफाई हो गया है, और सोल्यूशन का डिमांड भी है, राइट, बिकॉज मोर एंड मोर कस्टमर्स आर ऑल्सो रेडी. सो वंस ये जब एस्टेब्लिश हो जाता है, इसके बाद, राइट, इन्वेस्टर्स इंटरेस्ट लेना शुरू कर सकते हैं, राइट. आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट दे आर गोइंग टू टेक इंटरेस्ट इन योर प्रॉब्लम एंड द सोल्यूशन, बट दे मे टेक द इंटरेस्ट. ओके, सो उसके आगे का भी प्रोसेस है. सो ये जो है बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एंड वेरी फर्स्ट माइलस्टोन, फर्स्ट स्टेप है, होता है कोई भी स्टार्टअप के लिए, कि आप जो भी जितना भी आप टाइम दे रहे हो, जो भी सोल्यूशन बनाने के लिए, उस सोल्यूशन का डिमांड होना चाहिए. डिमांड अगर नहीं है तो सोल्यूशन का कुछ वैल्यू नहीं रहेगा, करेक्ट. सो डिमांड जनरेट करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. नाउ एक बार ये डिमांड जनरेट हो गया, राइट, नाउ लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. सो या, so demand generate हो चुका है, and then now Lalita, let's move to the next slide. Yeah, so you have the demand generated for, and you know कि बहुत सारे customers हैं, they are ready to pay for the solution, right. Now from here, whether you want to raise money or you don't want to raise money, okay, and why you would want to raise money and all, so uska us wo that is the next decision that you have to take, right, whether I want to raise money or I don't want to raise money. अगर रेज करना है तो क्यों करना है और कितना करना है, राइट, ये सबसे बड़ा क्वेश्चन आता है माइंड में. सो नाउ मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, व्हाई यू विल नॉट रेज मनी, ओके, व्हाट इज द रीजन व्हाई यू विल नॉट रेज मनी, एंड इफ यू हैव टू रेज मनी तो क्या हमको वैलिडेट करना है, करेक्ट. सो यू विल नॉट रेज मनी जब आप स्टिल आइडिया को वैलिडेट कर रहे हो, राइट, you are still making POC, a small prototype solution बना रहे हो, and आप उस solution को भी validate कर रहे हो, so which is called as product or solution market fit, वो भी validation चल रहा है आपका, and means you are talking to customers, still you are still talking to customers, और आपने जो market का जो size है वो define नहीं किया अभी तक, you are still in the process, correct. आपको पता है कि you have spoken to let's say 50 customers, और वो सारे इंटरेस्ट दिखा रहे हैं, बट 50, why only 50, right, it can be even bigger, it can be 50,000 customers also. So वैलिडेट करना पड़ेगा, you have to find out the market size, कि इस पर्टिकुलर सॉल्यूशन का कितना ज़्यादा डिमांड है in the market, okay, how many people are ready or would be ready to buy. So you have to do a validation of the total market size, you have to define the market size. तो ये market size कैसे बनेगा, right. So let's take the example of EV vehicles, right, EV bikes, chargeable, battery chargeable bikes, correct. So अगर कोई ऐसा product बना रहा है, suppose as a founder you are making this particular product, कि आप bikes बना रहे हो, EV bikes. So सबसे पहले आपको ये देखना पड़ेगा कि इस particular segment इंडस्ट्री का कितना बड़ा मार्केट है across the world, across India, right. So इसका डेटा पूरा मिल जाएगा आपको anyway, you will find that out with so many articles, so many research जो चल रहा है. So you will have to find that कि कितना उसका बड़ा मार्केट साइज कितना ज़्यादा है. जो सेकंड जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है कि मार्केट साइज तो एक हो गया, बट व्हाट इज द ग्रोथ, what is the growth of this? Like, आज अगर इस पर्टिकुलर ईवी बाइक्स का मार्केट साइज, लेट्स से, एक आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग वन नंबर, ओके, 100 मिलियन है. सो उसका क्या ग्रोथ है फॉर द नेक्स्ट 5 years और 10 years? इज देयर इनफ ग्रोथ? इनफ ग्रोथ इन द वर्ल्ड, इनफ ग्रोथ इन इंडिया? उसका ग्रोथ पोटेंशियल कितना ज्यादा है? सो वी हैव टू गो एंड फाइंड दैट आउट, right? And because unless you know that there is a big market size, because you have only spoken to maybe 50 or 100 customers, but अभी हमको उसको next level of validation करना बहुत जरूरी है कि you have to find a market size and the growth of that particular product or that particular service. उसका growth आपको identify करना है, right? For example, again taking the same Zerodha example, जो stock broking company, right? So in across India, there are only 3.5% of the people, or maybe 4% of the people, जो लोग stock market में invest करते हैं, right? So it's a small number, but looking at India's population and the growth which is there, more and more people are coming and investing in the stock market today. So you know that the growth is very high. So tomorrow, abhi, even for the EV vehicles, the growth is also very high. So you have to find out ki growth kitna hai. Is it going to become 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times in the next 5 years or 10 years? So आपको वो उस लेवल का रिसर्च आपको करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, to find out one is the market size and second is what is the growth, right? So अगर ये दोनों बहुत छोटा है, like market size is small, it is still fine, but growth percentage जो है, that cannot be small, it has to be big. Only then you know that it can really grow big. Your company or your startup can really become very very big. And third जो है, very important, is same industry, same particular segment में what is the competition, कितना ज़्यादा competition है in the industry. In how many companies are creating EV bikes, correct? So what is the competition and what problem, उन लोग क्या problem solve कर रहे हैं और उनमें क्या gaps हैं, ये जानना बहुत ज़्यादा जरूरी है. I'm just taking one of the example, right? So जब तक ये clear नहीं हो जाता till that time, and इसके लिए you don't need money. Let us understand this. To find a problem, to validate the idea, correct, and then to come up with a solution of that particular idea, then वो solution को जाके validate करना है with the customers. You don't really need to spend money, correct? Yes, you have to spend money for prototype या POC जब बनेगा आपका, उसके लिए you need money, but you don't need too much of money. You need only small amount of money. To validate the market size, you don't need money, correct? Or you can spend small amount of money to get the research done, to even get the market size and the growth potential. You don't have to spend money, correct? Then the next step is to find out who are your competitors or who are there, who you would be competing with. कितने सारे players हैं industry में who are doing the same or who are coming with the same solution या same problem they are trying to resolve. So to find out even that, you don't need money, correct? So there is no need कि you have to start running behind investors, because ये जितने different phases हैं, उसके लिए it's the bare minimum. Unless you have achieved this, आपका pitch, what you make in front of the investors, वो ही ready नहीं होगा आपका, right? ये तो basic criteria हो जाता है before you go to the investors. So if you don't have time to create a pitch deck, or you don't want to spend time on that, correct, but you have to spend time to identify my market potential competitor or whether my solution is the best solution among all the competitors, correct? So till that point of time, it will be a waste of time for you to even go to the investors, because they will also not show interest, correct? So that is what you have to now consider. Now once you have, till this point of time, you can always bootstrap your कंपनी, bootstrap your startup, because the money requirement जो है वो बहुत छोटा अमाउंट होता है. एंड वील डिस्कस कि क्या क्या डिफरेंट वेज है, कौन से माध्यम है जहां से आपको रेजिंग मनी का अपॉर्चुनिटीज है, राइट? वी कैन डिस्कस दैट पर्टिकुलर पार्ट, करेक्ट? सो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट from here. Now, once you have done this level of analysis, इसके बाद जो next steps, very very important next steps which is there, is about getting your initial customers. Correct? So you go to the investors, और investors आपको ये सवाल पूछेंगे कि ये बताओ कि आपके कितने customers हैं अभी, how many customers are ready to buy your product or service, 5, 10, 15, कितने ट्राई किया, कितने customers ने इंटरेस्ट शो किया हुआ है, आर दे रेडी टू पे मनी. सो ये सारे सवाल आएंगे जितने भी क्वेश्चंस that will come, right? So now, if there is any comments, Lalita and Maika, please let me know. I can also uh, talk about it. Okay, we'll at some point of time we will discuss about the questions. Um, okay,
Sure, sir. I will let you know.
yeah,
Should we take it on the middle of the
we'll
session?
no, we'll take it after some time.
Okay, okay, sir.
We'll cover
Fine.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
sir.
So
Okay.
now you know that आपके पास आइडिया है, सोल्यूशन है, सोल्यूशन वैलिडेट हो गया है, मार्केट साइज है, मार्केट का ग्रोथ पोटेंशियल कितना है, ग्रोथ परसेंटेज कितना होना चाहिए, कॉम्पिटिटर्स का डेटा है, बिकॉज मेनी पीपल, मेनी कंपनीज आर वर्किंग ऑन द सेम प्रोडक्ट, सेम आइडिया, you know, till that point of time. Now you have to work on your own idea. अभी how much you want to grow, that is the next steps. उसके बाद कि मुझे कितना ग्रो करना है. सो नेक्स्ट 1 year में your goal, what is your goal, how many customers you want, you have to find out. Do I have to find out 10 customers, 20 customers, 50 customers, right? And if I give this to 50 customers, so what will be my revenue? Mera revenue kitna zyada aayega? So if it is 50 customers, I'm just taking example, 50 is a very very small number, but just example ke liye. So 50 into, let's say, your product cost, let's say, 1,000 rupees, right? So 50,000, that is your revenue that you are going to get. Correct? So that is your milestone, your initial milestone, that I want to hit 50 customers and 50,000 rupees as revenue. Okay, small example. And then to reach that milestone, how much time I'm going to take? Is it 3 months, 6 months, 1 year? So आपको वो डिफाइन करना बहुत जरूरी है. Now investors आपके स्टार्टअप पे पैसा तभी डालेंगे जब when they know that you are determined to make it successful, right? You want to make it successful, come what may, you will make it happen. Correct? वो तभी they will be able to identify that जब वो आपका प्लान देखेंगे. तो आपके प्लान में आपका गोल होना चाहिए कि कितने, whether it is 3 months, 6 months या 1 year के अंदर you will hit 50 customers and maybe 50,000 rupees as revenue. Correct? So ये आपको define करना पड़ेगा. And if it is 3 months or 6 months, to get 50 customers, how much you have to spend, how much money you have to spend, right? How much you will need. So based on all of these things, you will decide whether, first of all, you want to raise money, and if the answer is yes, then how much you want to raise money. So let's take the same example. If you have to touch 50 customers and make 50,000 rupees as revenue in next 3 months, and your spend is going to be, let's say, 20,000 rupees. Correct? Do you want to raise 20,000 rupees? Answer is no, right? It's very simple. So you first hit that milestone, and then you plan for your next milestone. Next milestone is, let's say, you want to touch 500 customers. And for 500 customers, you are going to require maybe 2 lakh rupees to get 500 customers. Okay. Now, do you really want to raise money? Answer could be no for you, because either you will bootstrap, you will put money from your own pocket, or you will get it from some incubation or some accelerator, or pool of investors, small friends and family would have put money, and you will not need that money. Correct? And then you will define your the third milestone. Third milestone could be that you want 5,000 customers. 50 say 500, now you want 5,000 customers. And for 5,000 customers, to reach that, you would need, let's say, 20 lakh rupees. to touch 5,000 customers. I'm just taking another example. Okay. So, abhi ye 20 lakhs, you may not have it. For this, you may decide to raise funds. Okay. Now, on what conditions you may want to raise or you may not want to raise? Suppose you want to hit 5,000 customers in 1 year. You may still raise money, right? But you want to touch 5,000 customers in, let's say, 3 years. Then you can grow slowly and you may not still raise money because you will keep adding customers, and every customer, जितने भी आपके customers add होते जाएंगे, they are using your product or service. They are also paying money, right? So they are, from there also you are generating the revenue. So revenue आपका आ रहा है. So जब आपका, when you want to grow steadily and you know that it is okay, I'm able to manage, you have a runway कि मेरे पास 1 साल का runway है, I don't need money for the next 1 year, then you, it is not necessary that you have to raise funding, right? But if you want to grow faster, you want to accelerate your growth, you want to touch 5,000 customers, let's say, in 1 year only, and you want to do it very quickly, and you know that for doing that, उसके लिए आपको बहुत सारे कस्टमर्स को फटाफट, you will have to present your product or services, and you have to make sure that you are spending a lot of money on the marketing side, correct? You are strategizing so that you will be able to reach more and more customers. Then definitely you will need money. So your money requirement, fundraising तभी necessary होता है when you decide whether it is important for you, right? Based on how many customers you want, how much revenue you want to generate, and आपके पास कितना runway है, कितना amount already है, और that amount will go for how long, whether it is for 6 months or 1 year. On the basis of that only, you will decide whether I will raise money. Okay, and then you will decide how much to raise. Now let's talk about how much to raise. So taking the same example, that you will need, let's say, 20 lakh rupees. And अभी अभी हम लोग स्टार्टअप का वैल्यूएशन का बात करते हैं. So based on your company's current revenue, current number of customers, और जो growth potential है उसके हिसाब से, let's say your company's valuation is coming 1 crore. Okay, valuation is a separate topic which will be covered as part of this 11 day in one of the days. So let's say company का जो valuation है, आपका जो company का valuation है, वो that comes out to be 1 crore, and you need 20 lakh rupees as your investment. So which means you will have to pay 20% equity to the investors, correct? Are you ready to pay 20% equity to your investors for generating 20 lakh rupees for your 1 crore valuation? This you have to answer. If you are not ready to pay 20% equity, then the only way is to increase your valuation, right? Instead of 1 crore, your valuation should become 2 crores. Then you will only pay 10%, correct? So how much you want to spend, let out your equity, how much you want to give away your equity percentage आपको कितना देना है investors को, वो purely depend करता है कि आपको कितना amount raise करना है और आपके कंपनी का valuation कितना ज़्यादा है, right? जब आप छोटे valuation पे आपका कंपनी का fundraising करेंगे तो definitely आपको ज़्यादा equity देना पड़ेगा, विच मीन्स योर आइडिया बहुत नेसेंट स्टेज में है, बहुत ज़्यादा ग्रो नहीं हुआ है, कस्टमर्स भी बहुत कम हैं. Obviously investors will be at the advantage because they will demand more equity. But let's say your valuation बहुत ज़्यादा है आपका and you need smaller amount of money for faster growth, so definitely you will pay less equity, and it is a win-win situation because you are not paying too much of equity also, and you are getting investments also, and you know that with this investment you will be able to accelerate as well. Okay, so initially when you are raising funds from an investors, your valuation has to be higher and your equity has to be as low as possible because it is your first investment milestone. इसके बाद भी you will start raising investments, right? As you grow 5,000 customers, say you want to reach 50,000 customers, obviously you will need more money at that time. सो उस दौरान में यू विल हैव टू शेल आउट. अभी से ही आप 20-30% इक्विटी दे दोगे इन्वेस्टर्स को, तो बाद में आपके पास ज़्यादा कुछ बचेगा नहीं, राइट? And it is not healthy for the company also. So initially, if you raise too early investments, if you raise too early, you will have to give more equity. So it is better that you validate your idea, you have customers, you increase the valuation. Agar if you are just not able to proceed without investment, of course you have to raise. But if you are able to manage, you should delay as much as possible and focus on getting more customers rather than immediately getting the fundraising for your company, right? So that is how you decide ki how much, whether you want to raise, when you want to raise, and how much you want to raise, correct? So what we'll do is we'll take some of the questions first, uh, and then we'll proceed on the rest of the sections, because many of these we will cover as we proceed. Okay? So let's just pick up some questions. Let me put the charger in the meantime.
Okay.
Yeah, we can continue.
Okay. Should I take questions?
Yeah, let's take the questions.
Okay. So one person is want to know more about pitch deck. If you can elaborate some points.
Okay, so what is a pitch deck, right? So pitch deck is nothing but बहुत simple में it is a PPT, okay, and PPT में it will have number of slides, different slides, and सारे जितने भी slides आप बनाए, it should be minimum 12 to 15 slides, right? Should be good enough for your pitch deck. But वो pitch deck का content क्या होना चाहिए, right? So सबसे पहला content जो होता है pitch deck का is what is the problem that you are trying to solve. आप कौन से प्रॉब्लम पे काम कर रहे हो, व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम दैट यू वांट टू सॉल्व, राइट? दैट्स द फर्स्ट वन. द सेकंड वन इज व्हाई यू थिंक दैट इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट प्रॉब्लम टू सॉल्व. क्यों आपको लगता है कि ये जो प्रॉब्लम है ये बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, और इस एंड बहुत सारे कस्टमर्स हैं जो who are looking for the solution. So why this problem only, right? And then what is the basis on which you are saying that this is a very big problem, correct? And then is that काफी मतलब you can go very detailed and deep in this. It's a whole topic in itself. I'm just covering high level. So and then you will cover that what is the market size of your problem statement. उसका market size क्या है, उसका growth potential कितना है उस particular industry का. That is what you cover, and then you come up with what is your solution, what solution you have built to solve this particular problem. So that will be covered in one of the slides, correct? And then who are the competitors, correct? You will talk about the competitors और competitors के क्या क्या solution है, और your solution, the one that you are making, उसमें क्या फर्क है, how you are better than your competitors. So you'll have to put that, ठीक है? And then you will say, okay, now with all this validation done, कि I am better than my competitor also, but now why you will continue to grow and be better than the competitor in the future also. So उसके बारे में you have to do some more analysis or initial, how you will be better than your competitors. Why your solution is a better solution and unique solution, and competitors will take more time to even adopt that solution, right? So उसके बारे में बात करना है. And then the next would be that now what is your current growth, how many customers you have, कितने customers already हैं, कितना revenue आ चुका है आपका, एंड फ्यूचर रेवेन्यू पोटेंशियल क्या है, व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट सेट ऑफ माइलस्टोन्स. सो अभी तक हमने इस सेशन में जो भी बात किया वो सारे को यू हैव टू पुट इट प्रॉपरली इन ए स्ट्रक्चर्ड वे इन ए डेक, सो दैट जब व्हेन यू आर प्रेजेंटिंग इट टू द इन्वेस्टर्स, इन्वेस्टर्स को लगना चाहिए कि इफ आई एम नॉट पुटिंग मनी, ओके, इन दिस स्टार्टअप, देन आई विल लूज, मेरा नुकसान होने वाला, okay. So that is the feeling that the investor should get, and for that you have to put the right data points, and that will help to create the pitch deck. So that's I hope I answered that question. We'll take the next one is how do invest entrepreneurs raise money quickly
Yeah.
without distracting their teams from building the products. Okay, so no, of course. Now, when you talk about entrepreneurs raising money, we quickly. So the quickest way to raise money, okay, is quickly focusing on all the process and the steps. ये बहुत important है. Let's say you have identified a problem and you are taking 3 months to find a solution. So obviously your solution is not ready. You will not be able to raise money quickly. Correct? So as an entrepreneur, आपको ये समझना है कि आप प्रॉब्लम एक सॉल्व कर रहे हो, आप सॉल्यूशन दे रहे हो कस्टमर्स के लिए, and customers is also waiting for your solution, right? So you have to be very fast in that. You have to come up with a solution quickly and you have to present that solution to the customers very quickly, right? So ये जितने भी हमने steps discuss किए हैं अभी तक, you have to focus on it. Every day becomes very important. Uh, as an entrepreneur, you have to think day one I should have a customer. Day one, okay, but that will not happen in reality. In practical situation it will not happen, which means you have to attempt like that. Ki, how do I build a solution quickly so that my customers are willing to take my product or service and they are ready to pay? So if you are fast in building your product, at least MVP, okay, I'm not saying the full product, MVP product, or so that customers are willing to pay for it, then you will be able to quickly raise money from the investors. So that is one. Okay. Now the second point is you talked about without distracting your teams. So uh, don't try to involve everybody in your team to do each and everything of your startup. So if you have a small team जो product बना रहे हैं उनको product में ही focus करने दीजिए. You should not let them focus on anything else. They should only focus on product, making the product. If you have a one or two person who is doing branding of your company or marketing or talking to customers, let them focus on that. Okay, if you are focusing on creating the solution, you focus on that. So once you should not disturb your team. Okay, and as a founder, as an entrepreneur, you should go and talk to the customers. आपको customers के साथ बात करना है, not your product team. You should talk to customers. You should go and talk to investors also. If you are not confident, you cannot just rely on your team, right? You have to be confident first, then you can take your team along. I hope this question is answered. Uh, okay, what are the some tips for entrepreneurs on how to evaluate their potential investors? This is a very good question. So we'll spend some time on this. Okay, so now we'll stick on to the same topic that we were discussing. You have decided now कि मुझे अभी fundraise करना है, right? And you are, let's say, you are building a healthcare company. You are building a product uh, for some kind of a wearable product or device जिससे इधर आप टेम्परेचर मेजर कर सकते हो या डायबिटिक रीडिंग मेजर कर सकते हो. So many different products are there. It's a healthcare based product, right? Now when you have identified that particular product, typically you have to find uh, not only investors, you have to find mentors and investors both from who are coming from the same industry. Okay, so you should look at investors जिनका उस particular field में उस particular industry में interest हो. Suppose there is already a investor who has a big company on a healthcare segment, right? It's a very old company, big company, and obviously they will take more interest in another healthcare startup, right? So you have to look at those kind of investors जो उसी particular background से आते हैं, उसी particular industry से आते हैं. Okay, so that as an investor also and as a mentor also, they will be able to guide you. They will be able to help you move fast. ठीक है. So जिनका जहाँ पे interest होता है उन्हीं के पास you have to go and find out. So first you have to nail down the industry. Same industry is always better, right? Um, so that is one. The second thing is you are talking about evaluating an investor, right? So investor evaluation is एक बहुत important step है. The investor should not only focus on growing his money because he has invested in your startup कि हाँ मुझे 5x 10x हो जाएगा. They should be able to support you. Okay, they should be able to support you by providing the right guidance, mentoring without disturbing your you know your core idea. Suppose you are trying to build a product and the investors have paid 2 crores money, and tomorrow the investor says, now I have paid 2 crores, I have so much of equity in your company, you change the product, right? इस product में काम मत करो, दूसरे product में काम करो. So you are getting distracted completely, right? So the alignment between जो आप build कर रहे हो, जो आप solution build कर रहे हो, और जो investors का जो interest है, वो भी align करना चाहिए on the same product, same field, and same type of opportunity. The third is they should not obviously look at taking more and more equity from your company just because they are investors. Correct? If they take a lot of equity, and you are left with very less equity, obviously you will not be able to drive your business properly, right? So these are some of the tips, but best is also talk to your different entrepreneurs in your friend circle in the same incubation center. There will be so many different entrepreneurs, so many different founders. उनसे भी बात करो, उनका एक्सपीरियंस आप चेक करो कि किस तरह के इन्वेस्टर्स आए हैं, उनको उनसे क्या बेनिफिट हुआ है, विच टाइप ऑफ इन्वेस्टर्स हैड वर्क हैज नॉट वर्क फॉर देम, and वहां से then you can put your own criteria, and based of that you should go and approach the right investors in the same industry, same alignment, same thought process, who are ready to help you and also help you to grow your company, right?
Okay.
Right. So now let's talk about what milestones does an entrepreneur need to hit after raising each rounds of capital, right? So yeah, again, this is a very very important question. What are the different milestones that you want to hit? Correct. So obviously, when you are pitched your idea to an investor, जब आप अपना आइडिया लेके जाते हो इन्वेस्टर के पास, तो आप एक नॉट ओनली आइडिया, यू हैव अ सॉल्यूशन, you have a some set of customers, and you are also going with your milestone and your goal, right? uh, what is your revenue growth plan? You will say that, okay, in the first year I already made 20 lakh rupees. Next year I want to hit almost let's say 1 crore rupees. Third year I'll be hitting 2.5 crores rupees. I'm just taking example again. You have hit 20 lakhs, you want to touch 1 crore, and then let's say 2.5 crores, right? So do you really know that how you want to do that? आपके पास वो बेसिस होना चाहिए, राइट? कि आप 20 लाख से 1 करोड़ कैसे पहुंचोगे? You should have some basis for that calculation, correct? You should know कि हाँ, when I have hit 20 lakh rupees as a revenue, definitely I need so many extra customers now, and this is my marketing strategy. So you will have a way, right? जो execution plan है आपका, वो आपका ready होना चाहिए, तभी जाके investors will actually put money in your company. Correct? If they are not clear that you will be able to actually do that, they will not put money. Correct? So now here what we are assuming that they have already put money into your company. Okay. Your focus should be to hit that particular goal and target much early than what you have promised to your investors. This is step number one. After you have raised your capital, कि आप कितना जल्दी उस पर्टिकुलर, आपका फोकस सिर्फ उसी में रहना चाहिए. योर फोकस इज नथिंग एल्स. आपने you have raised money, right, from the investors on the basis of a particular revenue growth plan. So you have to stick to that particular plan. Correct? You can't change the plan because वो तो invest raise करने के time का plan था, मेरा plan अभी different है. No, whatever you have promised, your credibility and ethics as a founder, as an entrepreneur is very very important. तो जो भी आपने प्लान बनाया है, आप उसमें फोकस करना है. ओके, यू हैव टू हिट दैट पर्टिकुलर माइलस्टोन much earlier than what you have already promised. You have to attempt at least. Means definitely you have to reach there, right? So that is step number one. Second important thing is you should do that without eating away all the money that you have got. Let's say you have got 1 crore as your investment. Because you have 1 crore, it is not necessary that you have to spend that 1 crore, right? How can you strategize your business such that by spending less money, you can still hit the same milestone? So that should be your focus. Focus is not that I have money, so I'm authorized to spend. Yeah, of course you are authorized to spend, but you have to see, make sure that your company, your startup is sustainable. So sustainable का मतलब है कि without spending the entire money, you should still be able to hit the milestone. So you have to strategize your uh, company. Third is, of course, you have to keep giving the data points and the reports to your investors so that investors का जो confidence है आप पे वो हमेशा बरकरार रहे. They know that you are moving in the right direction, and they will be able to influence so that you will get more and more investors in future. Correct? If your current set of investors are happy that you are focused on the goal and आप आगे बढ़ रहे हो, आप milestone, you are giving report that you are actually growing as the plan, then obviously they will help you to get more investors in the future, and you will be able to grow your business. Okay. Okay. The next question is, what type of investors should entrepreneurs target at various stages? This we'll cover in one of the slides, right? So yeah, kind of we have answered all the questions. Any other questions are there in any other streaming or any other forum? Lalitha, then we can take up
Uh,
that.
no, sir, that's all. Currently, we are having only these questions, so we have covered all of them.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So now let's move to the next slide. We'll, I know जो भी slide का content है वो we have more or less we have covered, but let us go slide by slide and see if there is nothing something which is missing. We can take that. Okay. So now what to do before you start fundraising? We have discussed this part also. Okay. Talk to your fellow founders, other entrepreneurs in the same incubation or accelerator. Okay, what they felt. This is very important. This particular slide is about the legal thing. Let's move to the next one. So you will get funding only when, next slide, Lalita. So you will get funding only when you have a proper company setup. You have a a private limited company. The legal slide. So you have a private limited company which is set up properly, right? With proper paperwork. जो भी आपके जितने भी फाउंडर्स हैं, को फाउंडर्स हैं, उनका कितना इक्विटी शेयर है, your paid up capital. I'm sure there will be other sessions, detailed sessions on this in future. But ये आपका बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है कि कंपनी का जो लीगलिटी स्टेटस, योर जितने भी फाउंडर्स एंड को फाउंडर्स उनका कितना इक्विटी शेयर है, रजिस्टर ऑफ कंपनी आरओसी में, ऑल दिस हैव टू बी डॉक्यूमेंटेड. ओके, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. You should know what are the terms and conditions जिसके बेसिस पे you want to raise the fund, right? So ये proper होना चाहिए आपका. Okay, shareholder agreement, that you can have a draft, so you can talk to your CA and they will be able to give you all of these things, right? Or somebody who's helping within the startup incubator. So that you have to be prepared. So you should know. Basically ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप investors के पास गए, आपको valuation ही नहीं पता आपके कंपनी का, yeah, or या फिर, so you should do the valuation of your company. Let's say the investor say, no, I don't agree to your valuation. Your valuation is not 2 crores, it is only 50 lakh rupees. So you should be able to prove that wrong also, na? That you know that how you have done the valuation of your company. Valuation report is there. You have a basis of that कि आपका कितना रेवेन्यू आ रहा है, रेवेन्यू ग्रोथ कितना है, कितना कस्टमर्स आ रहे हैं, कितना स्पेंड है आपका. सो बेसिस ऑफ दैट आपका कैश फ्लो कितना आ रहा है, एवरी क्वार्टर कितना कैश फ्लो आपका बन रहा है, कितना अमाउंट विच विल ऑलवेज बी देयर इन योर कंपनी. एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट आपका जो DCF वैल्यूएशन के हिसाब से, व्हाट इज योर वैल्यूएशन, you should know your numbers, right? So that is again very important step. Let's move to the next slide. Yeah. So What to do before startup fundraising? We have discussed all of these things. Pitch deck may. Yeah, one very important point that needs to be covered here is that investors' question will be that if I invest money in your company, how much return I am going to get after
Yeah.
2 years or 5 years, right? How much money I'm going to get as a return? Okay, what is my uh, opportunity for investment in your company? What is it that I'm going to get benefited? How much growth you are going to do, right? So this also you should be very very clear. If you are taking money from investors, so how much you are growing? So we discussed about from 500 customers to 5,000 then 50,000 customers, right? So if you are achieving this, let's say in 3 years versus you are achieving in 5 years, so numbers are changing completely, right? The growth percentage is changing completely. So you should know that कि कितना होना चाहिए तो उसके लिए क्लैरिटी होना बहुत जरूरी है, correct? So you should work out all of these things, and you should know how by spending less you will be able to generate the same amount of revenue. So ये all this number crunching, working out these details, ये बहुत important है. You have to always be ready with this, right? Let's move to the next slide. Yeah, slides are moving little slow. Prepare your pitch. We discussed about it. Target the right investors. We covered this topic also as one of the question.
Yeah.
How to target. Let's move to the next one. Yeah. So what
Should I
is
move
fundraising?
to the next?
We have discussed this. So let's move to the
Yeah.
slide where it talks about the different types of investments. Okay. And what are the ways? Okay. So we'll move to that particular slide directly. So now, see, the first and foremost way is bootstrapping, where you are putting your own money. Okay. Now एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग है फाउंडर्स का कि विदाउट रेजिंग मनी आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू मूव एट ऑल. दैट इज नॉट करेक्ट. You can validate your idea and go to the MVP stage without spending too much of money. You can even generate revenue also without spending too much of money, right? But what it means, what is the difference? Let us understand. कि जब आपके पास when you have money as an investment in whichever form, whichever way, whether it is self-funded or funded from your friends and family, when you have money, you have a easiest path, correct? You have the easiest path. You know that I can spend money and I can move from one phase to another phase. It's very easy. But let's say when you don't have money, when you don't have investments, then you will strategize your business. Then you will think what is the best way जहाँ से मैं मेरे स्टार्टअप को ग्रो करा सकता हूँ. What is the best way? What is the way? What is the strategy? How will I be better than my competitor? How will I reach my customers quickly? How can I give my best product to the customers so that my product will be taken than my competitor's product? So these are all strategies. Strategies mean without spending, in a simple terms, without spending too much of time and money, how will you still reach your customer? And they will be ready to pay for your product or service. Correct? So take help from mentors who can guide you. Somebody who has already done something similar business, some similar business, if they are there and supporting you, so you have to find the right set of founders, co-founders, so that there should be one person who is very good in marketing, one person who is very good in technology, one who understands the business. So you have to form. So right from your team building stage, every stage is very important. Now, when you're forming this team, your founder co-founder group, obviously you will not need that level of funding, right? Because this is all part of your strategy, how you want to actually build your company and grow it, correct? So ये बहुत important होता है. When you are in constraints, that time you will think about right solutions, right ways of reaching your milestone, correct? And funding sometimes it becomes an obstacle, because when you have money you will not be able to think from a strategic point of view. You will be ready to spend that money, but your competitor may come up with a better product than you. ये possibility है. So you have to always think from that angle, right? So one is your self funding or bootstrapping. Second is of course friends and family. Third is again you are taking from a few more sources, which is also called as crowdfunding. But till this particular stage, right, it is you are only waiting for support from your own circle, from your known sources, from for the first thing, right? Your own sources through which you are generating the money, right? It is very important that you are associated with an incubator or an accelerator so that you will get all the required support because you will have a pool of mentors, you will have uh, जिस इस तरह का जो session हो रहा है, right? So similar sessions will be there. There are so many support system which is there, so you will get the right guidance so that you will be able to move your startup faster, right? So, and then from the incubator or accelerator also you get money based on various pitch fest which is done, or they are also associated with so many different investors who are ready to pay the initial amount of money, which is called as the seed investors or the seed capital, right? So through that you will be able to get, and then you have to participate in various different events jahan se you can get some grants from government. So many events are there where you present, they pick up their top ideas and give you some government grants. So you should look for all of those opportunities, no? ऐसा नहीं है कि you got money from one of the source so you stop. You have to keep attempting some of these things, but at the same time not at the cost of where you are delaying your building your startup or delaying getting more and more customers, right? You have to always balance this. Okay. So once all of these things are done, then of course the next is angel investors who will where you need smaller capital. So sometimes mentors or smaller investors or angel investors they come together. They can give you money so that your idea moves from one stage to another stage, right? And then of course you go through your VC rounds and all that. The loan or debt is taken when you know that मुझे equity नहीं देना है and you are ready to repay. You know you are confident that you will be ready to repay because you have a steady flow of revenue. And then for your growth, you can always take loan or debt, but that is completely individual choice. Okay, so hope this is interesting. Yeah. And then I think the last few slides talks about the bootstrapping and the benefits
Yes.
and advantages and disadvantages of bootstrapping. We have already covered that to some extent, correct? So
So
any
I
other
guess
questions are there?
all of the topics are covered in which are present in the slide right now.
Yeah. So any other questions which are there or anything, we can take up that.
No, so that's all. All these questions have been covered by your side.
Sure.
Uh, so should I conclude?
Yep. If there are no other questions, we can conclude. And
Oh,
if there are any questions coming up offline, also let me know. We can address that.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will let you know, and we will answer them through the mail.
Sure.
So I guess all the topics are covered from Sovan sir side, and I would like to thank you, Sovan sir, for taking out of his time and giving such a knowledgeable session for all of our startups. Sovan sir, thank you. आपने सारे topics को काफी briefly and with examples बताए हमारे startups को, और सारे questions को भी काफी अच्छे तरीके से बताए, तो हमारे जितने भी viewers हैं उन्होंने काफी इस ज्यादा सेशन को एंजॉय किया. इवन आई हैव आल्सो एंजॉयड दिस सेशन अ लॉट and it was very knowledgeable session, so thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. I hope you take
And
this and grow your
yes,
startups.
एंड आई होप हमारे सारे व्यूअर्स को भी काफ़ी मज़ा आया होगा ये सेशन देखकर, कि सर ने इतने अच्छे से जो भी उनके पॉइंट्स को समझाया है, तो वो फंडिंग को लेके जितना भी उनके अंदर डर था कि क्या हमें करना चाहिए क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, तो वो अब बाहर निकल गया होगा एंड दे विल सीक फॉर फंडिंग. सो मैं सारे व्यूअर्स को थैंक यू कहना चाहूँगी कि वो हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं, और साथ ही साथ मैं उनको ये बताना चाहूँगी कि आने वाले कुछ दिनों तक 11 तारीख को पिच, जैसे अभी पिच डेक का एक क्वेश्चन उठा था यहाँ पर, तो पिच डेक के बारे में भी हमें एक ब्रीफिंग में एक सेशन हम ऑर्गेनाइज करने जा रहे हैं। तो आई होप सारे व्यूअर्स इस 11 दिन की ऑनलाइन इन्वेस्टमेंट पाठशाला में जुड़े रहेंगे। और साथ ही साथ इस सेशन के एंड में हम एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चंस डालेंगे हमारे सोशल मीडिया पेजेस पे जिनका काफी अच्छा रिस्पांस आ रहा है। कल भी हमने काफी अच्छे क्वेश्चंस डाले थे जिसका काफी अच्छा रिस्पांस मिला है। तो आई होप सारे व्यूअर्स क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट करेंगे और एट द एंड ऑफ द सीरीज ऑफ पाठशाला हम विनर भी अनाउंस करेंगे। तो आई होप कल भी हमारे सारे व्यूअर्स हमारे साथ जुड़ेंगे। एंड वंस अगेन मैं सोवन सर और मेगा को थैंक यू कहना चाहूंगी। थैंक यू सो मच सर एंड थैंक यू मेगा फॉर बीइंग एन को होस्ट विथ मी।
Thank you so much, Lalita, and thank you so much, Sovan sir.
Thank you everyone.
Yeah,
थैंक यू।
Have a great day, all of you. Thank you.
yeah.